Streaming now live on the YouTube. And let's get this tweetered out.
Random, as we're already live on the YouTube and you're tweetering things out.
Yep.
Would you like to go to the Braves game tomorrow for, if nothing else, a brief period of time?
I really want to go for the reason that I know that you want to go. I can't go tomorrow.
Okay.
This week has gotten crazy.
Well, I'm going to go by myself if I have to.
Yeah, and I know why. Because I saw it and I was like, yes, I want that. But dang it.
And I am going to hope to get in line with some Washington Nationals fans and ask them to kindly accept a hat and then give it to me.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What's up, Roger? Yeah, we'll talk heart-shaped hot tubs at some point. I figured I'd name it the show Heart-Shaped Hot Tubs just to, I don't know, clickbait it.
That's actually pretty funny. Is that what we talked about the last time? It was just
you're not even looking at Sherwin. You're looking at my side. I can put the camera over there.
Woo! You don't want to see my ugly mug. Rusty's side's probably better than this.
There it is.
We got all kinds of things going on over the phone over here. Oh, yeah. Brett's like brokering the deal with a guy we didn't meet to go to another race.
Nice.
Good on you, fellas.
Doing the thing.
Timothy Triplet, Brett Morris. Love you, buddies.
Dude,
all right.
The Patreon read is going to be off the hook this time.
At some point, you're going to have to put some music to it. Like, I don't know, like some ballet or something. Like some violin or something to it. What was the background music? Background music when the Micro Machine guy would start into his rant. Wasn't there some little noise going on back there?
Let's see. Micro Machines guy. Let's see. Here we go.
Because he like invented
the Micro Machine man here, aircraft carrier there. You can't have that, but you can have this. The new Micro Machine aircraft carrier playset. The dramatically detailed, terrifically trimmed replica of the real thing that holds 25 Micro Machines with fabulous, fantastic features, 2 totally terrific elevators, real working hoist, runway, and 2 cargo arms. The new Micro Machine aircraft carrier playset from Galoob. Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing. This is the Micro Machine man presenting the most midget miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Plus incredible Micro Machine pocket playsets. Each one comes with its own special edition micro.
But it's like Star Wars lightsaber like button.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
That's funny, Roger. Yeah, I'll tell you what it comes from is exactly that. We were apparently the heart-shaped hot tub made its debut in the Poconos, so they've got that going for them. Figured I'd
no kidding, like official, like global debut,
global debut,
like the what do they call it, the
world premiere
or the honeymoon hot tub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The honeymoon hot tub. The
lover's getaway, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Did it come with strawberries and a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, and flower petals and all that mess. That's funny. It's funny that it's always for the woman there too, right? Like,
there's definitely been a couple dudes cuddle right up in one of them.
Oh no, I'm just saying the draw there. The draw was
sure.
The red heart-shaped hot tub with champagne and rose petals and all that.
Well, it was like, you didn't have to have a full royal flush to make the party happen. You just needed a couple of good cards because once you throw that heart-shaped hot tub in the equation, like it's almost like you had a, king queen suited right there.
Oh man! So my dad just got back from a cruise, and he played what did he play? He played 14. It was like a 17-day cruise, and he played 14 poker tournaments. He won 6 of them and chopped 3 of them. So 9 out of 14, he finished first or tied for first. Like, good grief, Dad! Nice work. So. He was
that is pretty baller.
Yeah. He was well known in the group or whatever.
Within the community.
He plays an intimidating game, kind of like Guns used to play, where he's just the intimidating guy at the table. So it's funny because he when me and him play, I know him. I've known him all my life, obviously. So none of those tactics are going to work on me. So
Right, because it's
when
all psychology.
Right. When it's me and him, I'm like, I know his psychology stuff. I know what he's doing here. He's representing this. He bet that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's funny to me how intimidating he is for other people and stuff. So anyway, yep, just shooting the BS before we get started. No guest tonight, so you're going to have to listen to us just ramble on about stuff.
Oh, right. That's right. Y'all are stuck tonight. You didn't know. You ought to know by now, most of y'all that are pretty smart, when there's not like a big announcement or whatnot leading into, like Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, you should know we're probably not having a guest. But because we do it so little now, we actually usually get a lot of positive feedback about it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It was kind of fun just listening to y'all riff. You feel more relaxed or you sound more relaxed or whatever. Yeah, it's because we are. I mean, this is a lot more like what it is when we're sitting on the couch drinking beer and watching the race or watching the ball game or whatever it is.
Well, it's kind of like going back to the cruise ship stuff. If you've been on cruise ships, they have like their fun day at sea, they call it, meaning we're from midnight to midnight, we're not going to be in port anywhere. We're going to be, traveling to the next place.
Just wide open.
Which, if you have, 14 days of that, you're going to be sick of it, and that boat's going to get real small real quick. But
14 days is a lot.
But one day of it, sprinkled in every once in a while, hey, we're going to have some fun. You can get as drunk as you want.
In one day.
Yeah. What are they going to do, And you can't get lost, You can pass out somewhere.
Like, no, you already told me we anchored up and pulled the drawbridges in for 12 hours, which means you got me for at least 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. You can do it. There's no rules anymore,
No, there's not a bunch of them, that's for sure. There's only a couple.
Oh, man. Well, with that, let's get her started. You ready, Sherwin?
Yeah, why not?
PTM Posse, we hope y'all are ready. Thanks for joining along. We're recording.
Who all do we got?
Let's see who we got. We got Sarah and Roger and Brett and Sarah and Roger.
All right.
So off we go. We're recording now.
7 heart-shaped hot tubs.
Welcome, yo! Nice. This is the Pre-Game Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 197. It's Tuesday, May 28, 2019. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace. I'm in the PTM Podcast studio with Pre-Game Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
We're coming off a big weekend. I still don't know how in the hell we're going to do that 200th episode. I can't figure it out. That's okay because we got 3 in between.
That's right.
Including one right tonight.
If there's something y'all want to hear for the big 200, y'all let us know. Before we get to all this episode, we want to let y'all know this podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. Go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the What You Drink Club for as little as $1 a month. Get that free koozie and some stickers. Best part is, every cent in 2019, once again, donating to sponsoring drivers. Join the PTM Posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. Sherwin, this list has grown. I'm going to try it.
Here we go.
This week's show brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Thank you. Those are Laura Henshaw, Aaron Bidden, Robert Cavalier, Coleman McClam, Eric Kepner, Ryan Kiefer, Patrick Cleary, Jeff Brown, Brendan Crow, Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Rika Porter, Jumpy Bob, Les Miller, Tommy Witt, Julie Bosley, John Pearson, Eddie Greer III, Younker Motorsports, David Mullins, Patrick Johnson, Brett Morris, Crystal Smoke, Fred Rosado, Chad Knappett, Stacey Coleman, Matthew Camper, and welcome to the PTM Posse. Sherwin, Lisa, Chanana, or Hanana, perhaps. Victory! And Mr. Rick Houston of Scene Vault, dude.
Of Scene Vault.
How
man,
cool is
we
that?
love what Rick's doing, man. I've been super supportive of him, and he's been, in turn, has been very supportive of us as well, with the retweeting and the saying hey and chattering on the old Twitter. And very big thanks to Rick. He's a huge NASA and NASCAR nerd, and we love both those things too. We like rocket ships and we like race cars.
That's right. We like race cars with rocket ships attached to them, as it turns out. Sherwin, we're flying solo tonight. We don't do that very often, but when we do, we'll get a little sideways. We'll do something. We'll be crazy. It should be a
Well,
fun night.
it's a perfect time to do one because it's already a tough week for people that are, a lot of people are going to take off this side of the week because of the long weekend, or they take last week off or whatever. It's just a little bit more challenging. And to your point, we haven't done a solo episode, I think, in probably about 20 episodes or so.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we get some pretty good feedback from everybody when we
why
do it
not?
because we tend to just not have a lot of structure to what we're doing.
Just sit here and riff.
People like to hear us be ADD as hell.
This is also, isn't this our anniversary for the show?
It's right around the same time. Yeah,
It was right. It was right around Charlotte. Or
This is
I
a
can't
4-year.
remember. Yeah.
This is a 4-year anniversary essentially.
We've got the 200th episode coming.
Because
but
remember,
we
Dover
haven't really
used to
thought
be
about
late.
it. Yeah.
It used to be the first race in June or the last race in May, depending on how Memorial Day fell. So we're right at it. This is basically our 4-year anniversary, so why not celebrate it?
Happy 4 years, dude. Cheers. What are we drinking tonight? What are you drinking? What am I drinking?
Well, you got some Jim Beam and Coca-Cola, because this is Atlanta, Georgia, by God. And I got some New Belgium coffee cocoa stout. I bought this a couple weeks ago because I really thought it was probably going to be good, and just looking for the right reason to bring it down here to the podcast.
Well, there's no time like now.
We both like stouts, so I figured you'd probably like it too.
I'll tell you what, the gift that keeps on giving. My dad bought me that Beer of the Month Club thing. And I
That
believe
thing has renewed itself?
well, no, it's for a certain number of months. I think this is the last month. I think this is the last one.
Oh, okay.
But it arrived. So here it is. Ellicottville Brewing Company. There's an IPA, and then there's this Keeping It Peel with citrus peel, grapefruit and lime peel.
It's
Juicy,
like a West
tangy
Coast
IPA,
juicy IPA.
something like that. I'm trying to see where they're
Cool.
from. Reading the bottle.
Chrissy Gal 4 says, or Gail, sorry, Chrissy. Jim Beam Peach and Coca-Cola is the best. Well, we like peaches, so you never know. We might have that on the next episode.
Well, sir,
I do like peach liquors and peach beers.
and we
So-
are in the state of Georgia.
And we are in the peach state, despite the fact that it's not our number one export crop, but it is the peach state.
Ellicottville is a city in New York. I don't know.
See, this is what happens when we do it by ourselves. We get into Wikipedia a little bit.
Yeah, doing this
We
thing.
goof off.
What is considered upstate New York? Like, is anything above
Albany,
the city?
like Albany.
It has to be Albany. So
Like
this
if you're north and west of Albany, that's like upstate.
okay. So like Buffalo is due west of Albany forever. Is
Yeah,
that considered
Buffalo is still probably
Roger does
considered upstate from down here.
Okay. Yeah. So this is south of Buffalo by maybe, I don't know, I'm just looking here, 30 miles or
Oh,
so.
so that's like right on the Pennsylvania line, or no?
It's getting close. Maybe 10 more miles to the line. Maybe 15 miles
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
line.
upstate for them is like. And,
Yeah,
and
like, you
Roger
gotta
will
get-
probably correct me for saying this,
that's what I'm
but
saying. I'm
like,
like, what's Roger
it's
gonna
like
say?
anything that's not the city. Like, I guess get out,
That's what I-
get
yeah.
as far away from the city as you can't see the lights anymore. That's upstate New York.
Yeah. Okay. So Ellicottville is out of New York, apparently. So that's kind of cool.
All right, awesome.
So we'll be drinking. Roger will be
Well,
drinking.
Watkins
for you
Glen is right around the corner. We're only 6 weeks away, I think, from Watkins Glen. So
tonight. That'll be.
that's on the bucket list too. Not this year, y'all. We don't want to.
Did you see? I think Tommy Joe Martins retweeted it. There was a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I think in the UK.
Yeah.
And there were the two dudes together. Like apparently it's like Bring Your Friend Day or whatever. And
Bring a friend.
I don't know what it
To
is.
Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever.
But the thing was, or the question was something like, I think it was Martinsville, Dover, Watkins Glen, and Sonoma all share this in common. And obviously one of the answers was, on the NASCAR Touring Series, and I don't remember what the other three answers were.
Oh, was it wine? Maybe.
Who knows? I can
Well,
look it
so
up.
Roger, I'll answer you this directly from the YouTube feed line there. With Bristol moving the way it's moving into college football world, Watkins Glen has shuffled its way right on up the list to places that we're going to go. I don't know that we would do the Pocono Double and Watkins Glen in the same year just because of the very tight proximity between those two places. But Watkins Glen has been in the top 5 for half a decade. It's shuffled up a little more now that it's likely that after 2020, Bristol Knight is going to shuffle out of our capabilities because of college football.
So it looks like they burned 2 lifelines on it, and so it was down to either NASCAR racetracks or former state capital cities. So,
Oh, wow. Well, that's fun.
yeah.
Boy, I had to have been studying the right things to get on that.
Did I ever tell you I tried out for it? I was
For
Who
jail
Wants to
party
Be-
or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rock on, man.
They had a thing in Atlanta, and I went with a buddy of mine, and you had to take a test first, like this big long test with all these trivia questions on it. And I passed the test, and he failed the test. So
Did you ever figure out how you did on the Wonderlic?
no, I didn't.
Me neither. Why
No.
won't they tell us?
I don't know. I wish they would. Right?
I'm thinking I scored at least in the 30s.
I think
Or
so.
low 30s.
I better have. I answered a lot of questions very, very.
You
confidently.
answered like, what, 10 more of them than I did, I think, or 15 more? I don't know.
I answered in earnest, I believe, 42 questions that I thought that I had the right answer or close to the right
and
answer.
you Christmas tree.
And then I Christmas treed the last time
Nice.
because I don't.
Because you're supposed to.
Well, I Christmas treed 3 more because I had like 12 seconds left after I got my final answer and put it in, and that was number 42. And so 43, I was like, 12 seconds left. B again. B again. Go. Like just do it.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I didn't think about doing that. I skipped the right amount of questions for not wanting to read the long thing, but I don't think Christmas tree the way I should have.
yeah. So anyway, I moved on to a in-person interview thing, and they have like it was kind of intimidating. There's like a guy, there's a light shining in your face, and a camera like a foot from you, and he's asking
What
you
the
all
hell?
these questions about, and it's not like interrogation stuff. It's just trying to figure out
What
if
the hell's
you're
the
a
camera for?
good personality or something, so they can review it later or something, I guess. I never got the call back, so they gave you a window. They were like, all right, from 2 to 4 p.m. on such and such a day, we'll be calling everybody who's going to be on. And I didn't get the phone call.
Oh, yeah.
so
I did
whatever.
not get an indication of when the callback might happen, but it's been way past. I'm just assuming that's not a thing.
Not going to happen. So hope y'all had a great Memorial Day weekend. Mine was fun, but Sherwin, you were in Indy all weekend with the friend of the podcast and friend of us, Brett Morse. I'd like to do a little rundown of how the weekend went. Perhaps we start, flew in, Thursday you said?
Yeah, we can start with typical traditional Andrew fashion of making things way more interesting than they needed to be, which means I did not get to the airport in time to check my bags, but I did get to the plane in time to get on it.
Okay.
So I made it to Indianapolis International Airport at, I want to say, noon 15 on Thursday afternoon. Brett had been there for over an hour and a half. He was so excited. He just parked. Unlike Atlanta, where you're not allowed to park in the pickup lane, there's nobody at Indy. So
Well, they got the cell phone lot
he
now
just
in Atlanta.
parked
That's cool.
and literally left his truck and came and got me.
Oh,
I mean,
geez.
like Atlanta, you could never get away with
No,
that.
you couldn't do that in Atlanta.
And so then we went on down, and ultimately we went on Thursday night to something called the Hoosier 100.
Okay.
I think that was Thursday night. Yeah, the Hoosier 100. It was a sprint car midget race, so
Okay.
like a Silver Crown race.
Okay.
So no
Dirt?
wings, on dirt, 1 mile, 100 laps, 100 miles.
Wow.
They were hauling all of the cuss words. It was amazing how fast they were going. Like they were so fast they actually could straighten up.
So they look like the wheeling cars or something? Is that kind of open wheel?
Well,
the
they look
wheeling's
like the
on-
Chili Bowl cars, except for they got
yeah.
the big V8 in them.
Okay, yep.
It's
750 horsepower or whatever it
It's
is.
something really ridiculous. They were 360s, I think. So they were the 800 horsepower jobs. And that was cool. 100 miles, that's a lot for a midget car,
Sure.
a Silver Crown car to run. But that was the last one ever going to be run there because it's a horse track, and they're going to limestone it for the sake of the horses. So the cars are going to never be allowed to run there again. So I went to the last Hoosier 100 at the Fairground Speedway.
Was it packed?
Yeah, slammed.
And they're not going to do it anymore. I mean,
They said over the intercom there will be a Hoosier 100 next year. We just don't know where it's going to be yet.
it might not even be in the Hoosier state.
I think Brett's biggest concern was what's the Hoosier 100 because it's 100 laps and 100 miles. He's like, If we go over to Lucas Oil or somewhere else, they're going to have to change the name unless they're just going to make it laps.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was basically an endurance race for Silver Crown cars. Because 100 miles is a shitload.
A mile dirt track is.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks just like a horse track. Basically, it looks exactly like, the Kentucky Derby horse track.
Okay,
Churchill Downs, but it's better packed, obviously, for race cars.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's banking in the corners.
So who's your 100? Then
on
go get
Friday,
sideways Thursday night.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah. Was there a local bar or something, or did y'all just drink at the?
I'm trying to think where we did go Thursday night because we definitely went somewhere. But I'm starting like the weekend is long enough that it's really starting to pack in. I don't think we went to Ted's that night. I don't think it was till the next night that we went to Ted's.
Okay.
And Ted's the other guy that I do some of the videos with. It's got a really nice garage with a bar and everything in it. It was
sweet. That sounds awesome.
That's going to come up more in the discussion in a minute. But I want to say we may have just gone to a bar, had a couple drinks, and then gone home. Because I remember we were not with Brett's wife and his little guy.
Okay.
They were at the house already. It was just Brett and I.
Was Barf there?
No, Barf and Kansian were not in the program. Which is funny.
I was looking for another Barf too.
No. So the next day we went to Carb Day.
Carb Day,
which is it's an old school Indy tradition where like it's first practice or last practice for the Indy cars, the big guys, the Indy 500 guys, and there's an Indy Lights race and there's some other pomp and circumstance going on. I got to see the cars, 5 cars go wide open down the front stretch during the last Indy practice, and it was like, wow, that's different. Mm-hmm. That's wildly different.
This is new.
I've seen some interesting things in my race fan career. This is new. Mm-hmm. And then we went to the infield, and it was party on, Garth. It was like Talladega, but twice as many people easily.
Right.
And nobody even knew there was a racetrack anywhere. Like, they were just partying.
Okay.
Like, there was no...
Classic.
No awareness that they were inside a racetrack. It was just outdoor partying.
We're just here to throw down.
Yeah. And then that night we did end up going to Ted's, seeing his garage for the first time, which was really cool.
Okay.
And then the next day...
Wait, Friday night. Did Barf show up?
I want to say we may, in the party, have had a blown motor.
Okay. All right.
Both at night and then again in the morning.
Oh, hello.
First practice didn't go so well either, I don't think, from what I understand. Not yours truly, by the way, of course. You guys know that by now.
Well, if I'm on Barf, it's going to be at night.
Dude, I've got the best Robert Yates motor that's ever been built. I promise you that. Yeah, so Saturday we went to the racetrack, but the whole point of the day was to go to the Little 500.
Yeah.
Up in Anderson, South Carolina, or North.
Anderson is a place in South Carolina.
Anderson is a place in South Carolina. Anderson, Indiana. It was an asphalt racetrack where they ran 500 laps with an unwinged sprint car.
Good Lord.
It was amazing.
I bet. Jeez.
It was very cool. Josh Hansen was there. I never ran into him. Sorry.
Cool.
Did run into the Orange Cone and
cool.
girlfriend and entire fam family. They sat with us after Cone's driver wrecked because he was spotting.
Yeah, yeah.
But and no offense there, Cone, of course. Yeah, it was fun. It was different. It was neat. It was high banked, 3/8 asphalt, and you had sprint cars doing 135 miles an hour around it. It was ridiculous.
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah. So I think on Carb Day, you posted a picture of you at the track, kind of selfie thing with the pagoda, right?
Yeah.
And that picture to me looked like a Photoshop postcard thing because that's what you think about. If I think about Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that's the picture I'm thinking about. And so to be actually in front of it is, I thought that was so cool. Like one of those. Look at this. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about you being there,
dude. But it was really neat.
Oh my gosh, this is that place, right? So do you have that sense of wonder of this is the thing. I'm here at the thing at the place with the stuff.
It was so. It was so outside the realm that I didn't really have one of those like heartbeat moments because I was already so in awe of what I was seeing anyway that like it was just kind of like, yeah, that's where that's supposed to be. It's sitting exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then we get down turns, down to turn 3, and you're right there at the golf course holes. And you're like, yeah, there's part of a golf course in here too.
Did you go up to the golf course at all?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Is Rednecks trying to play it at night, like Ninja Night Golf?
No, they were just sitting on the berms around the greens trying to get a view of the racetrack.
Ha!
Just like they were watching the race.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing was that whole like reverence thing. Like, I know why I'm here. I made the decision to come here.
Yeah.
So, but I think I get it. I think I understand. It's going to take me about 3 more times of doing this to do all the things that I want to do. So I'm just going to do what's scheduled now, knowing that I will definitely be back.
Yeah. So Sunday, we get to Sunday, and you're at the track, and
we forgot about one important thing on Friday, Carb Day.
Okay. Yep.
So Brett's mom got us access to one of the hospitality tents.
Yeah.
And it was wide open. Wide open.
Anything.
I mean,
6 schlitz.
They only had beer and wine. Obviously, we were drinking beer, which, I mean, if it was nighttime, I might have been drinking wine. But we were drinking beer. But it was like 2 every time you go.
Okay, yeah.
Every time.
Grab 2.
And it's like little 10-ounce, 8-ounce, 10-ounce cup, whatever it was. We had about 785 beers. It's like...
And weren't even drunk, probably.
Well, we went outside, and Brett and I went actually to the inside straightaway stands and watched the Indy Lights race, which turned out to be a great finish. It was a pass, it was 6.7 thousandths was how much the winner won by.
Wow.
So, obviously, we saw a fun race. And then he's like, all right, what do you want to do next? And I go, there's this whole tent thing that we're allowed in where they got free beer. And he's like, wow, you make a really good point. He's like, let's go over there.
What is that? What's that old cartoon with that dog? This is older than me cartoon with the dog that, like, they gave him a treat or something or led him with a treat, and his feet would come up off the ground, and his nose would point him toward the treat, and he would be like...
I know of what you speak, but I do not know the name.
Yeah, somebody on the comments there, let us know what that is. I can't remember the name of it, but I imagine like that. Like, hey, there's free beer over there. Free beer? Feet come off the ground.
Well, and not just free beer. It was like free barbecue sandwiches.
He said it was
and fried chicken, right? And it was air conditioned.
Yeah.
And it was 985,000 degrees.
Yes.
And apparently that was cool because it's been like 107,000 degrees there before.
Wow. So, back to Sunday. Get there Sunday. What time did y'all get there?
Let's see. What time did we get there? I want to say around 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
No, it had to have been later than that because we didn't even leave Ted's until almost 9. Because Saturday night we talked to some dinosaurs Saturday night. Holy crap. And
talked to some dinosaurs.
We were supposed to be up at 6 and in turn 3 in order to set our chairs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. We didn't leave Ted's until 8:45, which means we didn't get to Brett's until 10:40, probably 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we didn't get back to the track till... we just did make the flyover, which was really cool. It was an A10 Warthog tank killer and 3 either 16s or 18s. I can't remember which. But, they banked around and ran like the track was like a racetrack, for the air. Yes. It was really cool.
Awesome. And you watched the whole Indy 500. What was the sound like? Was the sound just nutso?
It's not as loud as NASCAR,
Okay.
but it is like what you feel is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because it's higher pitched.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not, I mean, they
You feel the rumble. You feel the...
You feel the rumble.
Yeah.
You feel everything. They spaced out pretty good. They were actually spread out across the whole track for a lot of the race. So there wasn't a whole lot of the beehive effect like you get at a Talladega or a Daytona. Yeah. So that means it automatically makes it a little bit quieter But they're just a little bit higher pitched.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to describe it compared to a Cup car. It's different, but it's not all that dissimilar.
Gotcha. So totally worth it, or I'm never doing it again.
Oh, I'll definitely do it again. I definitely want to do it again because I want to see other things that I didn't get to see this time.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to get my butt out there too. So
and they want you to come. Jocelyn and Brett both said you got to get Rusty out here next year, and I'm like, all right, man. It'll
be awesome. Yep. So with that, y'all, hope you've enjoyed the Indy stories. Let's go ahead and tear it down. We're going to the report card. First period, Coke 600, perhaps. Sherwin, perhaps. I think you said you got to watch at least a good portion of it, and then on the replay. But perhaps the best race of the year, which I find interesting because leading up to this shoot, we had a segment last week where we were talking about, hey, is the whole 600-mile thing sort of run its course at this point? Tradition and whatnot and blah, 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 and we're going to tune in for that long and whatnot. Shoot, we had 30 lead changes. I think 16 cautions, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And at the end, 4 wide on the restart and a 4-lap shootout for the win. Holy cow! I mean, they were bumping, banging at the end. Logano and Truex. Truex gets a win, and I gotta imagine the elation that you feel after that kind of long-winded race and after that kind of finish to be, on point that late in the race in your mind. After 590 miles, to be able to do that, holy mackerel! So,
well, I think one of the things the fans need to make sure they take a seat and maybe watch the YouTube replay when they're not, 17 beers in, and realize that Goodyear, as much as we've given them crap over the past 5 years, they showed up with a tire that was ready to fall off, and because of that, we had some drivers hit the wall. Because they made really aggressive camber setups in their right front geometry, and that's what caused that. And that's also what made it a really good race. So let's not crucify the teams or Goodyear for the decisions they made in order to put us on a good race, because that's what we saw was a good race.
Yeah. So...
And the only way to have 16 cautions is to have tire problems.
I was going to say, so tires. I mean, we know this from Atlanta. Of course, when we're two guys from Atlanta, going to the Atlanta race all the time, we have relationships in Atlanta. Everybody knows. That's tires. I don't know what else to say.
Got to have tires.
Yep.
I mean, fall off. You can't staple on, 4 rocks every time you come in the pits.
Yeah.
That's not what puts on a good race.
Yeah. All 4 Hendrick drivers finishing top 10 for the first time since 2016. So, I mean, that's not all that long ago, but that is kind of 3 years ago. So that's kind of cool. Andrew Kansian at KHANTZIAN, he asks, has HMS turned the corner? Are they currently the 3rd best org right now behind Gibbs and Penske? What do we think?
Well, I think what happened is Hendrick did 2 things. They gambled on the fact that they've been fast lately, but they also conservatively set up their cars so that they weren't going to be the aggressive person that smashed the wall. So it gave them an opportunity to get that all-company top 10.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they chickened out of it, because there's no way. Chase led laps. It's fine. But I think they're inching their way into the conversation. I think the conversation now really is, hey, SHR, where are you at?
Yeah. I think so. Now, so you do have to. So let's compare those. I mean, this is what we're doing. You have to compare those. SHR or HMS. I got to tell you, I kept picking. Y'all run back. I'm not saying run back and listen to all the episodes this season, but run back and listen to all the episodes this season. And,
For sure.
And listen.
And last season and the season before that.
right. But and listen to how many times we've picked Hendrick drivers, because we just know that Hendrick has got to turn this thing around. You know what I mean? Hendrick, they've got the money. All you need to do, y'all, is walk into the Hendrick facility one time. Here's goosebumps again, by the way.
Yeah.
Walk into that facility one time, and you're like, okay, these boys know what they're doing. You know, so even if they're behind on something, they gonna catch up, and they're gonna catch up quick. So SHR versus HMS, I think HMS has been in number 3 for a while. They just had to kind of, zone in or hone in.
I totally agree
it
with
is.
you. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
They were definitely number 3 last year, despite Chase's 3 wins. So SHR is the one that's puzzling to everybody right now because they haven't won yet, and they have all these cars that appear like they're poised and ready to do so. Even Suarez has had some really good runs.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they'll have to duke it out as we go into the summer months. A lot of people say things about when it gets hot, this thing happens or that thing happens. I think that's all bullshit. I think it's a matter of where's the momentum within your garage on what parts you're built. Like, did you come up with something new this week? Mm-hmm. All right, are we going to try it now? Or are we going to try it in 2 weeks? Or maybe it's only a road course thing. When are we going to try that?
Yeah. So it's. I mean, I think they'll be up there with Penske in no time. I feel like.
I would be much more.
Bowman once again needs to get that win.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I think is he's been running good lately. By the way.
Yes, he has very quietly.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. In case y'all hadn't noticed, Jimmy's doing just fine, and he's got to pull one out here in a little bit.
Well, and Chase is his 4th straight top 5. That's
and Chase is just running the field.
Yeah,
I didn't mention Chase because of that.
It's a matter of time before he wins another race. I think I would feel better about Penske if Blaney had also grabbed that win when it looked like maybe he had a shot at it. Just to have all 3 guys and just kind of be able to, shoot that friendly bird to everybody. Hey, we've all won. How about you?
Yep.
Just to have that moment, that extra mojo, because we know that all matters. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Doesn't matter if it's race cars, football, hockey, lacrosse. Mojo matters.
Mm-hmm. Second period is Monaco, Sherwin. So the I didn't watch.
Did the person who qualified first win the race?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Moving on to the next race.
So actually, I looked because I wanted to make fun of it a little bit harder, but I'll give them the props that second, third, and fourth qualified second, third, and fourth, but also second, third, fourth, fifth qualified second, third, fourth, fifth, but switched places a little bit. So something happened. I don't know what. I did hear that there was a little bit of drama and that Lewis Hamilton had to save tires or something at the end, but who knows how much that is, manufactured F1 drama. I don't know. But he the pole sitter won. What do you want to say?
I don't. I'm glad I didn't watch.
Right. Well,
I'm not glad. I'm not glad to be boycotting it because I didn't have a choice. I was stone cold dead. But I mean, as someone who has watched it, 3 I think of the last 5 years in earnest, it's so tough. The only lead change I've ever seen in the race is because Lewis Hamilton pitted out of sequence when his crew didn't ask him to pit.
Right.
It was like, what?
And then he's back in the lead after everybody else pits, right?
Well, no, he ended up finishing third because of it.
Well.
But that wasn't a lead change. That was a screw up.
Right. Exactly. We're not on the
that wasn't racing.
Yeah. It was a racing deal, not a racing. Here's what I want to do. I want to watch. I need some F1 guys. We need to call up our buddies over at MOATF. We need to ask them which F1 race should I watch for the racing, because Monaco is like Daytona in terms.
I don't think those guys understand what good racing is. To be honest with you, I've heard them describe races that I have seen parts of.
Oh man, we gonna get chewed out for this.
Hey, you stop doing your podcast, we're gonna talk some shit every now and again.
That's okay. I've got a respect portion later on the show. We're gonna beat him to bad cop, good cop, bad cop stuff, right? But that you know what? They need to get back on the mic and prove you wrong, right?
Immediately.
So this is what this is how
if not sooner.
This is how it works, boys. We're going to talk ish about you until you come back on the radio.
Yeah, we're going to berate you into refiring up your podcast.
Yeah, you're going to do a special episode this week to prove Sherwin wrong. But I need to know from them or from other F1 fans which F1 race that I should watch for the racing. Because if you ask me as a NASCAR fan, here's a good question then. Let's debate this one. As a NASCAR fan, which race should you watch? Because it's not the Daytona 500. I mean, I know that's our premier event.
No, it's not.
And it's all that, blah, 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 blah. But really, y'all, pack racing, if you think that NASCAR is cars going around in circles and you don't have a guy to root for, Daytona is cars going around in circles. And that is not going to bring new people, y'all. Which race do you think someone should watch and go, okay, I like racing now? I've got my answer, I think, ready. I just thought of this question. But,
it's a good question. I like it.
I would say, dare I say at this point, but I would say Roval.
I was going to say Watkins Glen. So we're in the same department.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're in the same filing cabinet. We're pulling different folders, but we're in the same filing cabinet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I think I like the Charlotte thing about it, but the road course stuff, get somebody into that. And then so that's the hook, right? That's the drug they get for free, which is the one that they got to pay for.
Right.
I think Bristol they got to pay for.
Yeah, you got to. Well, Martinsville, you ought to.
Or Martinsville, yeah. Martinsville probably the drama there is.
It's just
with
such
the flat,
a cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so old school cool.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Roger says Martinsville for Oval, the Glen, and Roval. There you go.
Right, well, we pretty well crossed over pretty good on that.
I think we're all good there. So. Third period. So this one from Reddit. I've been trying to get a little more active on Reddit. So if anybody's listening from Reddit, thank you for hanging out with us. And maybe I'll get on there and post a few things every once in a while or something and say hey. But I saw something about hybrids according to Marshall Pruitt, who's a reporter for IndyCar. But he says he's hearing some sniffing from NASCAR, taking a serious look at hybrids as early as 2021. And so the question is is this good for us? Is this good for manufacturers? I will mention that almost it'll be a year ago tomorrow that Keselowski, which he writes blogs and stuff every once in a while. I don't know if he still does it today, but every time he wrote it, it was one of those things where your eyeballs just hit the screen and go, I need to read this. I need to read this. His writing is incredible. And his opinions in writing form, like when I express my opinions in, I don't know, audio form, I do what I'm doing right now and run over words and I can't exactly do it. But if I've got time to sit down and think about it and stuff, and so that's kind of I feel like Brad, actually he's a better orator than I am anyway, but when he sits down and writes stuff, holy mackerel, the stuff he writes. But he wrote out a great column about how to do hybrids right, which he was kind of saying F1 has done it kind of wrong. But here's how you do it. One thing he mentioned is that how about we do the hybrid thing. We get all these manufacturers in. We get extra manufacturers in because everybody wants to promote their hybrids now, right? And he said, how about we make a battery that we charge. It takes some number of laps to charge it or whatever because we're doing regenerative braking and all that mess. And maybe it's good for 2 laps on a mile and a half that you can run on battery. What would be the insane strategy plays now when you're well, you've got 3 laps left on gas and your battery's charged to 1.5? Do we go for it? What do we do? Insanity. So the strategy stuff, and I think that's why I like NASCAR the most is because of all the strategy, because of all that. And if you add another element of strategy, I think I can forgive the fact that this isn't a carbureted engine, blah, blah, blah. We're going to hybrid. Maybe you could do carbureted. I don't know. But we're not doing carbureted anyway. But the point is,
I like it as an adjunct. I don't like the whole Bill Nye science guide. NASCAR should be pioneering the next electric-only vehicle. It's no, we shouldn't. You want to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
How do you want to pay for it?
And that's a big thing. These cost way more.
Like, this isn't the United States military that the government is subsidizing based on our tax dollars to create all these interesting technologies that we now get to use, like this flat screen LCD that was in submarines in 1982. In 2019, we have it on our laptop and it works great. Like, so to me, it's who's paying for it.
Yeah.
I like the concept in terms of the strategy play. In terms of getting really excited about. What if you, like, we're not really sure, like, I'm not sure the regenerative brake generators are doing what they're supposed to do. We think we only got, like, 1.25% charge in the battery, which means maybe a lap and a half, and we think we have 3 laps of gas. I don't know what we're doing.
Coast to the pits, or what are we doing?
Like, what are we doing?
Brake harder.
It's like... Yeah, like step on the gas and brake at the same time so we get the same regenerative power. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there is some combination of that would be very interesting. I just don't see electric cars being anywhere in the remote future of NASCAR.
Yeah. And what kills me is that I feel like Tesla, we've talked about this before on the show, Tesla kind of has made electric cars cool. Like, they're cool now. You know what I mean? It's neat. I'll give that a try. Thank you, sir. So they made cars that don't look like, hey, look at me, I'm driving an electric car. They made cars that look kind of badass. And
no, they look like Maseratis, but they're Teslas.
Yeah. So hey, that's cool. So I think as we progress forward in, hey, electric, you don't have to drive this nerdmobile. You can drive this cool thing. The more...
Who killed the electric car?
Yeah, I was in front, or I was right behind a Chevy Volt today. That was kind of funny.
The reboot? The second round?
Yeah, second round. I don't know. I could see it in the future. One thing I've heard, I think it was in the Kozlowski article too, was... people just saying, I think somebody came up to Kozlowski and he was asking about, he was in Australia. That's what it was. And one of the F1 former fans or something came up and they said, I just don't watch F1 anymore. It just doesn't have the sound. And I got to have that sound, And that's something that's, going to be hard to overcome for old school fans.
Yeah. Well, that would be Formula E, probably, the electric series.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know what you would do about that. I think NASCAR fans would struggle with that as well. The sound thing, we know that because one of our sayings is "fast cars going loud," which is a play on loud cars going fast, and that's a big part of racing, especially if you think about drag racing. Good grief, we haven't really been to that, but that's super loud.
Yeah,
like a new kind of loud.
Yeah. Totally different loud. Well, we can move on to fourth period. This is cool, Sherwin. I got excited about this one. And it's that the NASCAR Esports League kicked off this weekend at Charlotte. So before the race, they had the esports guys in there doing their race thing on there. Now, all that sounds a little hokey or whatever, like, okay, whatever. Yeah, they're doing their thing. Yeah, that's cute, NASCAR, you did that. But I did not know until today that each esports league, or the esports league, has teams. Each of those teams is owned by an actual race team.
Yeah.
The Wood Brothers has a race team. Penske has a race team, etc.
JRM has a race team.
JRM has a race team. Petty has a race team. I suddenly am now a fan of NASCAR esports because now I can root for my team. That is super cool. It
is pretty neat.
I'll
have to figure out how to watch that.
I thought that was really cool that they did that because, again, I can root for, pull out the Wood Brothers hat. I'm rooting for Wood Brothers. Here we go, and it's something that nobody else is doing. There's not an Atlanta Falcons esports Madden NFL team. You know what I mean?
And not even the one that would make the most sense is MLS with the two junior teams in the academy. We don't have that. That's not a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roger says that Parker Kligerman and Jeff Burton own a team. Like, holy crap, that's so cool to me. So I'm probably going to start watching some of this esports stuff. It's on Twitch, and I think YouTube has some of them too. But it might be a tune-in kind of thing, see what happens. The cool thing with esports to me is that it's so accessible. Like and these esports, by the way, are console stuff. It's PlayStation and Xbox. I have an Xbox. I have the same Xbox a dude who runs for Wood Brothers has as well.
Right.
I do not have a NASCAR sanctioned car in my driveway, but I do have an Xbox.
Correct.
So I can do the same setup, the same everything. I could put his car as like a ghost car while I'm driving, see what marks he's hitting, and try to play against him. I think that's pretty cool to me that you can do that.
No, it's damn cool.
Like, hey, I'm going to race against Wood Brothers today. That's neato. I know iRacing's been around for a long time and does similar stuff. There's something a little bit different about this to me that I was like, ooh, you don't say.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
I like that. Yeah. So I'll probably be watching a little bit of that, see what's going on. Fifth period. I had mentioned this before, Whelen Modified Tour, but they're returning to Martinsville for the first time since 2010. That was a big, I mean, it's like, if you search for NASCAR news right now, that's like one of the big articles floating up today. Martinsville made the announcement and everything. Whelen Modified, I mean, if you look at the places that they're racing, they're going to South Boston. They're going to, I think Dover was the only one where they race, where the Cup Series goes.
It might be. Yeah, they go
and
to,
otherwise they just go to local track stuff. So going back to Martinsville, kind of a big deal, Sherwin.
Yeah, it definitely is. Because it's a great series, and it's a great track for that series. For those who don't know much about the modifieds, they're have very similar horsepower to a Cup car, but they have 15-inch right side tires, and they only weigh about half as much.
They weigh about 150 pounds.
So they zoom around there pretty quick, and they're fun to watch.
Because when I brought it up earlier, you were talking about sprint cars without a wing on them, and I'm like, that's kind of like what Whelens are.
Yeah.
Kind of open wheel.
Whelens have a lot lower profile, but otherwise, very similar.
Yep.
It's concept-wise very similar.
So they mostly race in the Northeast. They're up in New York, Boston, or New York, Massachusetts, Maine, et cetera.
Ricky Craven and Todd Bodine cut their teeth.
Yep.
Running modifieds.
But they do have a race in Myrtle Beach in March, Sherwin. And perhaps their opener. That's their opener, by the way.
I'll go play golf with the alligators and watch race cars.
Myrtle Beach, dude, it's crazy because, they have a million. If y'all don't know, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina has a million golf courses, and so they're all in competition with each other. So what happens is 10 years ago, which might have been 12 years ago the last time I was in Myrtle Beach, but you could play a world-class course for like $65. You had GPS 15 years ago. Yeah. GPS in your cart and a caddy who rode on the back of the cart for 18 holes. Like, are you kidding me? For $65? Oh my gosh. So, Myrtle Beach is fantastic for golf. And go hit the golf ball and go watch some racing. Holy crap. That'd be a weekend, Sherwin.
Yeah, it would. Hopefully they'd pair it with a super late model so you get to see, like Junior Motorsports, Josh Berry run or somebody like that, or Bubba Pollard or somebody. Have a couple different series down there. And Myrtle Beach is, it is the Panama City of North Carolina.
Right.
It's the only, or South Carolina, you're right. It's the only other place that's like Panama City. It is the redneck Riviera Atlantic coast.
Yeah. Well, they're going to run something.
And that's really close to where Brett grew up, by the way.
Nice. There's one other thing that I love about racing. You never go to a race and there's only one race that day or weekend or whatever.
Right.
It's a race weekend or it's a race day or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's never isolated.
Right. They're not just running the Whelen that day or that weekend in Myrtle Beach. They're going to run 10 other things. So, you never know what you're going to get. It's straight up Forrest Gump stuff.
We got to play some golf if we go to Myrtle Beach.
So,
and watch out for the Gators.
Recess. Talking about grilling, Sherwin. So yesterday I put on a Boston butt. I've been doing this lately. I think you know about this. I've been doing it. You cut it in half, and that means you get bark on both those half sides. And it cooks a little faster, too. So you can do a real pulled pork in like 9 hours or so instead of having to do like 12, 13, et cetera.
I'd typically be doing 16, so yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing that, and people came over, the people who've been eating my barbecue forever, right? And they came over, they took one bite and went, "Oh, this is the one. You ain't done one like this before." I was like, "My man." So, but what that gets me to is a redneck meme, a wholesome redneck meme that I saw recently, and I loved it. I was like, "Oh man, something making fun of rednecks, but not really, giving respect or whatever." And it's like, don't give a redneck a reason to grill or reason to go grill out, because they're gonna grill out. And it said, the example it said was, "Well, Mary just took her first steps. I reckon we're gonna throw something on the grill." Yeah, we'll throw something on the grill. I don't know what.
We may have to go kill it first.
Anything. Don't give a redneck a reason to throw something on the grill. It'll happen.
They'll fire up the grill before they even kill the damn animal.
Yeah. Yo, but you boys better come back with something. I got the grill fired up. But yeah, don't give a redneck excuse to fire up the grill. But Memorial Day weekend, no better reason to fire up the grill. I did the old Boston Butt. Here's the thing, Sherwin, over at Kroger. I think it was Monday or something. They had the $27 whole, not whole because it's still half, but it was like 8 pounds, $10 for 8 pounds.
Wow.
And I went,
that's
is
good.
this animal die of old age or something? Like, what in the world's wrong with this? But hey, no problem. I'll still buy it. We'll see what happens, and we'll sue Kroger if it's a problem. But turned out perfect. So kind of proud of that one. Enjoyed it. With that, let's see. New follower shout-out, Sherwin. So let's do a couple. I'll do the first one, you do the second one. Sav at
Savannah.
Savvy as F. I like that. SAVVY as F. Braves fan. And also apparently a NASCAR fan joining us there. Thank you, Sav, for joining the PTM posse, hanging out.
Yeah, met her a couple weekends ago with Claire when we went to the Braves game, did the little tailgate and thing and whatnot with all the Braves fans there. Shout out to Braves Ninja and ATL girl,
Right
Braves girl. So
Right on.
Yeah. And then we got Jeff Cox out of WGXA Macon, meteorologist. Just connected with him recently, and I was like, "Hey, man, we got to talk." And he's like, "Yeah, let's hook it up."
We got some smart people following along. So thanks, Jeff. Excuse me. And on the YouTube, Mr. Alex Taylor, or Miss Alex Taylor. Sorry if I mix that one up. But Alex Taylor has joined us on the old YouTube. Thank you there.
Sweet.
Hope you're watching along today. Get the old shout-out. With that, Sherwin, let's gas it up. It is Pocono time. So next year, this time next year, we'll just be talking about like when we're making our plane flights and tickets and all that.
Oh no, that'll already be done.
We'll just be talking about how excited we are to get on that plane and go.
And we'll be talking about how many 30s or 40s of people that we're going to have with us.
I'm super stoked about this. There's going to be a mashup of PTM alum.
Kevin Teal, you better get ready, Bubba.
These people, yes. Holy mackerel! This is going to be, it's going to be insane. Next year, that's going to be. We keep saying it. The hottest ticket in motorsports is a Pocono Double next year. There's no doubt in all of motorsports.
Oh yeah,
prove me wrong. You know what I mean? But I like this, by the way. What I'm about to do until MOATF comes back on the air, I'm going to continue to steal one of their segments that David would do.
Okay.
And talk about the track that we're going to in terms of some fun stats about that city. So, the first one, the Pocono, the reason it's called Pocono, it draws its name from the Lenape Indian term for stream between two mountains. So, there you have it. Now you know.
All right.
There's a stream between two mountains or something.
Well, Pocono did sound very Native American / Indian.
Yeah. There. Seems like it works. The first steam locomotive in America, the Stourbridge Lion. I don't know. That was in Pocono. Here's one that's cool. The first American railroad, 1827, started in Pocono, evidently.
Well, the Penn line on Monopoly.
Is
the
good point.
Pennsylvania line.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Railroad. So there you go.
I think you skipped one.
I did, but I'll get back to it. The first silent movie in the United States, 1912. The first silent movie was filmed in the Poconos. So that's kind of neat. So first moving picture, if you will.
First moving picture. I saw the first one with any kind of noise in it.
The moon one? Is that?
No,
which one was it?
I
was trying to think.
The right way. Oh, I may have to come back to this. So
That's cool. That's cool. So here's the one, y'all. Here's the piece de resistance for the Poconos. The Poconos is they are the inventor of the heart-shaped hot tub. It made its debut in the Poconos. Sherwin, have you ever been to a place with a heart-shaped hot tub?
I have seen one. I don't know that I have stayed in the room where it was.
So Serena and I have regretted not getting the heart-shaped hot tub in this one place. I've only seen it in one place. I think it was up in the mountains of Tennessee or North Carolina or something when we went up there. And we did not get the heart-shaped hot tub. But then later on we thought, maybe it's a good thing that we didn't get the one in the heart-shaped hot tub because who knows what's gone down in the heart-shaped hot tub. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so I did find out what was, not to skip away from your heart-shaped hot tub, but I did find...
We're going to keep talking about the heart-shaped.
Well, I mean, we're going to, yeah, but to me this is worthwhile because this might strike a chord with some folks. So the first film that I saw that did not have auditory sound for vocals but did have noise in terms of music was a 1915 production of The Birth of a Nation. And many of y'all on a little bit of the older side will know what that is. It is a very classic piece about the birth of the Ku Klux Klan, which we do not want to get very involved in, based on a novel by Thomas Dixon Jr. called The Klansman.
Okay.
But it was a very pivotal moment in American media. And so, yeah, I figured I'd mention it. Why not?
So the movie
I'd like to challenge everybody a little bit just to make sure they're...
Movie I was thinking of, a moving picture, if you will, is called A Trip to the Moon, and it was French, so it was Le Voyage dans la Lune. But I have no idea
I would have got that
how to
right
pronounce
if I'd have read it.
but it's the one, y'all, if you've seen like the moon with like the rocket through its eyeball thing, that was that movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And when you watch it, come in with like no expectations. I think this was like one of the first, what do you call it? Like color movies. It didn't have any sound, but they recorded it so you could do like the Technicolor thing where you put like a blue filter over one, and green filter over another, and a red filter over another camera. And then if you composite all those three cameras together,
It looked like you actually had color.
Yeah, it looks like color.
Yeah.
So, it's a world-renowned movie, and it's only like 20 or 30 minutes long. It is weird as weird gets. It is freaking weird. No, it's 12 and a half minutes or something like that. But it was like back when nobody had ever made a movie before, so they don't know like what you're supposed to do. So he just he started it. It was kind of cool. So anyway,
no, that's cool.
So let's move on, Sherwin. It's time, Sherwin, to do some picks. Let's go ahead and get Junior to get us up.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pocono, as it turns out. So last week, let's see. Cone picked Harvick. Harvick finished 10th. I picked Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch finished 3rd. And you picked Brad Keselowski in 19th.
Oh, not good.
Yeah. So, Sherwin, you get to go ahead and pick first.
I am going to pick young Ryan Blaney.
Young Ryan Blaney. Ooh. That's a good, that's an interesting pick. What made you go Blaney, though?
Former winner, and Penske's been fast.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's finishing order did not match what his speed was during the race, so
Yeah.
I'm not concerned there. Logano was also, he finished second? So,
yes, he did.
yeah.
He did. Boy, this is a tough pick, y'all. This is a tough pick. Truex has won there not too long ago.
Correct.
Kyle wins there like freaking...
Once every third or fourth.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly. But I just picked Kyle. And Truex just won, so it's kind of silly to pick him. Can I pick Junior?
Truex or
No, the other one.
Shithouse?
Nope, the other one. Dale.
Actually, Shithouse Jr. wouldn't be a bad pick right now.
You know what? I'll go former winner, and I'm going to double down on what I said earlier about HMS. I'm picking Jimmy Johnson.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's get
Tell
there.
you what.
It's time for that to happen.
JJ.
This is the right track, too. This is the right track.
You.
All right. I'm just writing our
Three
our
very
picks
technical
down.
corners. I like it. I mean, I know Jimmy hadn't like absolutely lit the world on fire at Pocono, but he certainly has never sucked there.
Right.
You know, when there wasn't like obvious reasons to be sucking.
Yep.
And I like the
Obvious
fact that it's
reasons to be
three
sucking.
technical corners. I like it.
I need to rename this episode to Obvious Reasons to be Sucking.
That might be funny.
Oh, good times. Well, y'all, I think it's time to close her down. And, Sherwin, it's been a blast.
This was fun.
Yeah, it's good to
Very carefree.
do our thing, have fun, fart a little bit. Oh, man. So, anyway, y'all know what the deal is. Where can you find us? You can find us on Twitter at PTM Podcast. You can find me, Tailgate Mayor Russ Wallace, at Tailgate Mayor.
And you can find us on Instagram at PTM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Pregame Engineer and on Instagram at Andrew L. Sherwin. Go ahead and give us a shout out on the www.ptmpodcast.com and take a look at our Patreon, man. We're doing some good things over there, y'all.
Man, it's up to like $197 a month. I don't know what we're going to do with all this money except give it away. We know we're doing
Give it away, man.
That's right. So shout outs to Lap Traffic and MOATF. Y'all, they are both, MOATF is on Lap Traffic today. Be sure to go and give that a listen. I was texting with David as he was waiting on Brandon to figure his stuff out, and should definitely be good. Should definitely be fun. So with that, we'll talk to y'all next week. See ya.
Yeah, and a big hearty thanks to Brett Morris for hosting me this weekend.
Awesome. See y'all.
We're stealing wheels and racing hard. We are NASCAR. We are NASCAR.
Sweet. What's up, YouTubers?
Woo! Redneck noise. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? This is where it don't matter no more.
This is on the record, off the record.
Scare it on up. It's on the record, but it don't matter.
That's right.
Woo!
Export audio. And hope it works.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Blaney. That was funny as hell. So Brett Morris's wife was like, well, I'm not sure I'm into this guy or that guy. But I'm really starting to get into this guy. You know, that Kyle Blaney. And Brett looks at her like she just spoke something in Portuguese. He's like, what?
I'm into some Kyle Blaney myself. If I could pick Kyle Blaney every weekend, I think I'd win about 4 out of 6 times.
Right? It was hilarious. He's driving. Oh, I think I like that Kyle Blaney. He's like, Bert.
pull the car out, drag her out.
What the hell did you just
You're
say?
walking home. Excellent. What are y'all up to? What's going on in the PTM Posse world? How are you?
Who farted in the hot tub? Well, I did, probably.
Who farted in the hot tub?
Booger Johnson last weekend. Oh, yeah. Well, it was that desert sort of whatever camo deal.
I was listening to this comedian.
It definitely looked like a booger, but, I mean, it was camouflage booger.
This comedian said, if you are in a bathroom and they don't have the hand towels, but they have the hair or the air dryer thing, where's that air come from? He says, that air comes from the bathroom. You might as well fart on your hands to dry them.
Right?
Oh, and I laughed my butt off. So when we were talking about whatever that was a minute ago, that
No,
reminded
it's
me of
funny.
that. Oh, that's funny. So I stole a joke from him there, but I would give him props if I knew who it was that I heard. But anyway. Brandon had NASCAR Chasm and MOATF on.
Yeah,
So,
I knew he had NASCAR
good
Chasm.
times.
I didn't know
Good
MOTS.
times. Yeah. No, Brandon, not Brandon, David just started texting me. And he was like, hey, dude, what's happening? I'm like, what's going on, David? Because I was like, this is kind of out of the blue. Does he have something to say? And he's like, just waiting on Brandon to figure out his crap before we get this thing started. I'm like, oh, okay, I got you.
Nice.
So, give him hell. Let's see, my podcast.
I got to go make some pee-pee.
Oh, go ahead. I will entertain the folks. Hit this new episode button, and I got to wait on this file to upload. Oh, Sherwin's knee is a mess after after the weekend. Y'all, what did y'all do this weekend? Did y'all do anything fun? What'd y'all watch? Did y'all watch a race? Did y'all enjoy it? Are y'all going to go to Ellicottville? Roger, have you heard of Ellicottville? Have you been there? Am I even saying it right? Ain't no telling. Pour me another round of whiskey. Stayed at home for 4 solid days. That away, Sarah. So my wife, wow, weird other direction Freudian slip. My sister, not my wife. I am in Georgia, but that's not the case. My sister is putting together a theater company. She has been doing theater for a long time, not just theater, but all kinds of stuff. And she has people who went through her schooling or her tutelage, if you will. And one of them was a finalist for American Idol. I can't remember if she won or got second place. Another person is on this season, like a main character. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who, but is a character on Walking Dead this season. Another one's been on Dancing with the Stars. She's got multiple people on Broadway, blah, blah. But she's putting together her own theater company, starting it by herself instead of with any partners and stuff. So I met my wife on Ancestry.com. That is hilarious. So she's starting her own theater company. She needs to build out an entire theater, and she has enlisted the help of her kin to do that. So I have been swinging a hammer for the last 2 weeks every single day. It has been I have a newfound respect for the blue-collar workers of the world, where I can't imagine having to do that, like sheetrock or paint or anything, every day of the week for 8, 9, 10 hours. Oh my gosh! Like I hurt everywhere. That's how much of a piece of crap I am, I guess. Is I hurt everywhere every day now. Like that's just how it is. So props to y'all. Thank you for doing what you're doing, because I can't do it. Sherwin, you're back.
I am back.
Welcome. I've just been BSing.
Talking about building sets?
Yeah. Talking about helping out my sister on the theater project thing, and how I've been like swinging a hammer and painting and all kinds of stuff. I poured concrete. I've never poured concrete in my life.
Concrete sucks.
I've never done it.
Done it a ton.
Right. Well, now I've done it twice. So, well, on 2 separate days or occasions.
I've
or whatever.
only sawed it once.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That was tough. That was real tough.
Pouring concrete sucks.
I mean, I poured a slab down.
Get on that mic.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's
not
slab.
fun.
Yeah.
I've helped pour a slab down for a house that I spent a lot of time in down at the farm, and God Almighty, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, after it's over, even like the adults, like you say, okay, I was in my early 20s, whatever. You know, we're supposed to like put forth the effort, but even the adults are like, all right, you guys earned it. Go get a drink. We're done.
Oh, well, that's nice. At least when you get those sort of props.
Yeah.
I think it was a tower crane one time, and going up the tower crane, and in our early 20s, we did it in. We just went up. We just climbed all the ladders and went up, and we snuck in one time. Well, my buddy who we had snuck in with, because it was his job site, he went up the next day. And the tower crane guy said, yeah, why don't you come up and I'll show you around or whatever. tower crane guy didn't know that we had gone up the night before and hung out at the top of it. So Buddy just climbed up to the top, and tower crane guy looks at him and goes, I just called you 5 minutes ago and told you to come up here. And he's like, yeah, so I came up. Tower crane guy goes, it takes me 45 minutes to get up here every morning. Like, that's how long it takes for him to, like, climb one set, stop, have a smoke break, climb the next one, stop, have a drink break probably, and all that. And Buddy just runs up it in 5 minutes. He goes, you got to be kidding me. So, yeah, that's what it feels like. Anyway, I don't know. I'm BSing with the folks.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Will this new package make Kentucky race fun, says JoJo. I mean, I hope so. Mile and a halfers have been a little more interesting, I think, this year. So
they've all gotten really good ratings, I think, except Vegas, right?
Yeah. It's a shame that Vegas wasn't, and Atlanta wasn't.
I don't think they had
either,
it all.
fine.
Atlanta wasn't great. I don't think they had all of the package in yet.
Yeah, Atlanta they didn't, and Vegas, you're right, they didn't. They did that. What was it? Somebody remind me. There was something that they didn't do at Vegas, and so it was like, no, we got to wait till blah blah blah. To
Maybe they didn't do the Wicker Bill, or
I
don't know, one of those other drag things. I don't think they did.
Yeah, so it's a shame that they didn't do it early in the season now, because we know it's actually been mile and a halfers have been palatable.
Certainly been watchable, without a doubt. Like, not something to be upset about by any means. If you're looking at a standard NASCAR race, they've been good. They've been really good. Rusty's working on getting this up for y'all on the old audio. Obviously, if you like the YouTube thing, you can just go ahead and roll that thing on back.
That's right.
You can watch that on your laptop or your phone or your tablet, or you even got the app on your Xbox and your PlayStation, and you can play it on your big screen.
There it is. We are on iTunes as well.
What's Brandon calling about, you think?
So it's up. I don't know. Let's answer it a little later. No. Oh, no. Let's answer it now.
Hey, let me call you back, brother.
Yeah. Let's, I got nothing else to say. I hope y'all had fun.
Yeah, I don't
Let's call Brandon back, see what he's up to. See how, because right now, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, it's like 2 in the morning for MOATF. So they stayed up late for old Brando. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all be sure to go listen to that. I guarantee it's going to be funny. Love those guys. Hope they're back soon. I talked to David. I was texting back and forth with him, and I'll tell you, because I'm terrible at keeping secrets or whatever. But I was like, how about you? I'm not gonna lie, I'm missing the podcast. Hope y'all can get it going again soon. He said, yeah, I'm good. Podcast is in motion as we speak. Just waiting on dates from a few people. So they are in motion. So we're not going to be...
Glad to hear it.
Yep. We're not going to be...
We were worried they were going to take too big of a break and not come back.
Yes.
We've seen that happen a lot, y'all. Like, once you decommit from something that appears to be a weekly occurrence, it is so hard to get it back in the schedule if you start committing some of that time to other things.
Mm-hmm. It is. And every time I've thought... and maybe Sherwin has too, I don't know, but every once in a while you're like, man, I don't know if I've got like the time or the patience or whatever it is, I don't, maybe we shouldn't do one this week. And then you go, let's just do one this week. Let's, F it, just sit down in the chair and start talking and see what happens. And I've never regretted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So keep on keeping on. It's on the page. It's on that thing. I need to go to patm.podbean.com. I never mentioned that one, but that is another place you can go to see it. I need to tweet this out.
That's right. The links to the podcast are there as well.
Yeah. It's probably the best place to go see what happened and what's going on. Let's see. Copy that. Paste it here. Tweet it out. Pin to profile page momentarily. And that will be all of the responsibilities that I have for making this thing happen on this site. There it is. Well, y'all.
Sweet.
We're going to close her down. Thank y'all for joining. Enjoyed it. And we'll...
Thanks so much, everybody that joined us live. We appreciate it, as always.
Love y'all. Talk to you soon.